So, here we continue with the lesson, and we have to take the noun clauses straight. That is, talking about the subordinate clauses now. The subordinate clauses now. The first is a noun clause. Now, the noun clause functions as the subject, object, or complement. It is usually a group of words working as a noun. When we looked at phrases, we said a single word in action is capable of being a phrase as far as it is working as a grammatical unit. But in the case of clauses, it has to be a group of words. All right? So, the noun clause is a group of words working as a noun. Noun clauses often start with what or that, but this does not mean that other words cannot start it. It is quite easy for teachers like me to begin to rule out rules, but language is not tied to a box. It is not locked up in a box. That is, in making rules, we should be careful, because if I tell you that noun clauses start with what, I have added that, which most teachers don't usually do. But I will also give you examples where other words outside even what and that could start a noun clause. So we should be wary of rules in language studies, because these rules work in one way and do not work in another way. It is one of the reasons why we have a number of errors in the system in this part of the world. For instance, I am aware that those who say don't call the word F-O-R-K fork think that because W-O-R-K is work, fork shouldn't be fork. That's what rules do. Rules make us not to think outside the box. We should learn to think out of the box. So here I have my first examples as subject. What you told your mother was not true. What you told your mother was not true. Now, look at this. What if I say it was not true? Good. It would have been a noun phrase, which is the subject of the verb was. This it was explained as what you told your mother. If you had told the person it was not true, the person might ask you, what do you mean? What is not true? All right, that's the reason why this person, to avoid that question, said, what you told your mother was not true. So what you told your mother, noun clause, subject of the verb was. I had explained when we worked on phrases that this verb should have been be, but if I use be, you might not find be in the sentence. So I prefer to use what you can find. The form of the verb is was, but the parent verb is the verb be. But I'm using what you can find in the sentence so that you don't get confused. All right? So it is the subject of the verb was. We get to the second sentence. The second sentence said, that his son steals is a slap in the pastor's face. That his son steals is a slap in the pastor's face. What is the slap in the pastor's face? The fact that his son steals. Again, you can also sum it. It is a slap in his father's face. It is a slap in his father's face. One word. Okay. So, what is the grammatical name of the underlined expression that's used in that sentence? We say the grammatical name is noun clause. and it is the subject of the verb is. Alright? Subject of the verb is. The third sentence, the man that bought the watch has been arrested. Well, perhaps the watch was a stolen watch. So the man that bought the watch has been arrested. Now, the man that bought the watch is underlined. Look at what I told you earlier, that other words outside what and even that could still start the noun clause. That's why I gave you this example. Now, this clause is a combination of both a noun phrase and an adjective clause, an adjectival clause. That bought the watch is an adjectival clause qualifying the noun man. But in an integrated manner like this, when the noun phrase and the noun clause come together, the noun clause will respect the noun phrase, and together they will be called a noun clause. Alright? The man that bought the watch, together we give you a noun clause, which is the what now? A subject of the verb has been arrested. Subject of the verb has been arrested. Alright? So take note of that. If the line starts from here, that bought the watch, it is a noun clause. Sorry, it is an adjectival clause. But if this noun phrase is included, it is a noun clause, and it is the subject of the verb has been arrested. So you can see that I took the verb has been and arrested. Don't take one and leave the other. All of them have served as the verb element of the sentence, so none should be left behind. Alright? That's noun clause as subject. The second example, set of examples, is for the object. You already know what the object is. That which receives the action of the verb. I know what he wants. I know what he wants. What he wants is the object of the verb know. So it is a noun clause. Okay? Alright, noun phrase. Sorry about that. It is a noun clause. Noun clause. Grammatical function is the object of the verb know. She prepared what all of us ate. She prepared what all of us ate. Now, what all of us ate is a noun clause. It is the object of the verb prepared. You see, if I have something like this, we brought all that was needed. All that was needed is a noun clause. Again, I have created an example that did not start with what or that. This time around, it started with all. We brought all that was needed. All that was needed is a noun clause, which is what? The object of the verb brought. I hope you are following. Of course, you have an advantage. You can pause the video, rewind it to get every lesson. That's the advantage. Now, let us look at the noun clause as complement. As complement. We had talked about complement. That's why I keep emphasizing that you study our work on phrases. Now, complement is a noun phrase or noun clause that means the same and refers to either the subject or the object. Here we have, he is the best thing that happened to me. Yes, a young woman gets married to a caring young man, and what could she say? He is the best thing that happened to me. Now, the best thing that happened to me is the same person as he. Alright? This person is the same as this person. Therefore, since this person is the subject of the verb is, alright? Since this person is the subject of the verb is, and this person means the same person as this person, we call this one subject complement. Subject complement. This is the subject. This is defining this. The complement completes. If you leave this one, we will not know who this is. So, this is a noun clause, subject complement. You could as well say complement of the subject he, but that's a long process. So I prefer to make things easier. Subject complement is enough. But if you want to use complement of the subject he, that's still okay. Now, the second example. That was what he did. Now, that is a noun phrase. And it is the subject of the verb was. What he did is a noun clause. And it means the same thing as that. Remember, I said that is the subject. If what he did is the same thing as that, then what he did, which is a noun clause, is subject complement. Again, you can say complement of the subject that. But like I said, I don't like going a long distance when a short distance could do the same thing. Subject complement is shorter for me, but it does not invalidate saying complement of the subject that. Then we have this example here on the board. We made him what he is today. We made him what he is today. Now, we made him. What he is today is a noun clause, which refers to and means the same as him. Therefore, what he is today is a noun clause which is object complement. It completes the object him. Him is the object of the verb made. What he is today is him. Therefore, what he is today is object complement. Remember, this is the subject. This one doesn't refer to this one. That's the difference. Then, last but not least, we were the first troop that performed. We're the first troop that performed. The first troop that performed is a noun clause, which is the complement of the subject, we. So, we will continue with our work on clauses, but that's in our next lesson. We have been able to introduce you to clauses in this lesson and gone ahead to give you the noun clauses as subject, as object, and as complement. Remember that all that we have discussed about noun clauses border on the dependent clause, otherwise known as the subordinate clause. It is not about the main clauses. It might surprise you to know that if we remove the noun clauses, that is the subordinate clauses here, these sentences might become wishy-washy. They might not be complete. But that's how they work. So, follow these lessons, do the exercises that will come after them, of course, and ask questions through our links. We will do well to respond to those questions of yours when they come. Thank you so much for following us.